She lost her husband on a quiet Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where nothing feels like it should end, but everything does. Margaret sat beside the hospital bed, her thin fingers wrapped around his fading warmth. After 52 years of marriage, she knew the rhythm of his breathing better than her own. And when it stopped, something inside her stopped too. No dramatic last words, no music, just silence. At 75, Margaret thought the hardest part of life would be saying goodbye to the man she loved. She was wrong. The funeral was crowded but cold. Her children stood near the front dressed in black, whispering in low voices. They hugged her, yes, but quickly, like she was something fragile they didn't want to hold for too long. Within a week, everything changed. The house, the one Margaret and her husband built together brick by brick, was suddenly too big for her. Her eldest son said it made no sense for her to live alone. It's for your own good, Mom. But it wasn't. Papers appeared, legal words she didn't understand. Her hands trembled as she signed them, trusting the children she had raised, fed, loved, sacrificed everything for. By the end of the month, the house was gone, sold. Her husband's tools, gone. Her wedding china, packed away somewhere she'd never see. Even the old rocking chair where she used to sit beside him on quiet evenings disappeared. Margaret was moved into a small, dim apartment on the edge of town. It's temporary, they told her. They stopped visiting after 2 weeks, stopped calling after a month, and then nothing. Days turned into silence. Margaret would wake up expecting to hear his voice. Sometimes she even spoke aloud, forgetting he was gone. I'll make coffee, she'd say softly, then stop because there was no one left to drink it with. She began eating less, not because she couldn't, but because meals had always meant sharing, and eating alone felt like a reminder that she no longer belonged anywhere. Winter came early that year. The apartment was cold, not just the air, but the kind of cold that settles in your bones when you feel forgotten. One evening, as snow fell gently outside, Margaret sat by the window wrapped in an old blanket. Her hand shook as she held a faded photograph. Her and her husband smiling, young, alive. Tears slid down her face. Why didn't I go with you? She whispered. A knock came at the door, soft, unexpected. Margaret hesitated. No one visited. When she opened it, a young woman stood there, holding a small bag of groceries. Hi, I live downstairs, she said gently. I've seen you around. I thought maybe you could use some company. Margaret didn't speak at first. Her eyes searched the stranger's face, unsure if kindness was something she could still trust. I made too much soup, the woman added with a shy smile. I didn't want it to go to waste. Something inside Margaret cracked, not from sadness this time, but from being seen. She stepped aside. Come in? That night, for the first time in months, Margaret didn't eat alone. They sat together, talking softly. The young woman listened, really listened, as Margaret spoke about her husband, her life, her memories, and for a moment the silence lifted. The loneliness loosened its grip. Margaret still missed him every single day. That never changed. But slowly, something else grew in the quiet spaces he left behind. Not replacement, not forgetting, but connection. A reminder that even when life strips everything away, even when the people you trusted the most walk out of your story, it isn't always the end. Sometimes a stranger knocks and brings you back to life.